Hi everyone, welcome to Ansha Academy. In this tutorial, we will see how to add validation to an existing API endpoint using a attribute validation, and later we will see how to add Fluent validation. So we will be using some packages called Fluent Validation and ASP.NET Core, and then we will also add attribute validation in this video. So I'll show you exactly how to do that. So first thing is, here is our application that we have been working on from our previous tutorials. A link for the updated source code, I will put it in the description for your reference. Now in this API that we have been working on, if you run this API, you will see that we have created some API endpoints, which is querying our product table. Now let's quickly take a look at the product table in our database. So if I go to just do a script for this table, so I'll see that you can see that in this table there are a couple of things, right? So one is for row ID and modified date. It is all automatically creating the new data for before inserting, because there is a constraint added to that. So in order to use that, what we will do in our add product entity that we have here, add product DTO. So in this we will remove the modified date and row ID so that it gets automatically added from the database. And then if you look at the product column, you can see, let's just take a name for example, right? So name has a character limit of 50. Okay, so now if I try to add a product, what if I try to add a product which is having more than 50 characters? We will see that. So I'll just run the application now. I'll go to the add product method. Here in the product name, right, I will just add. Okay, so it gave an error, but we know that it was, yeah. So string or binary data would be truncated, right? It's telling that that the data was too long, and the data will be truncated, and it gave an error. But you can see, right, the error itself is kind of an internal, which we should not be showing to the user. So is there a way I can add a validation to the product name to restrict it from not being more than 50 characters? To do that, what you can do is, on the product name, we can add a property called string length. And then the string length, as we saw in the database, it was 50. And what's the error message? If I have to show a specific message to the user, I'm going to say product name is long, something like this. So now if I run this, add the request, and then I'm going to add a large product. Now you can see, right, the name, the error that we are giving is little better now. Product name is too long, we are saying, and that message is coming from this property. Also, we can have other things like, for example, required. In the required, what we will do, if there is a required, if it is not sent, we will give a specific message called product name is required. Now with that done, if you try to add a product, and then if for some reason I remove this and if I execute this, you can see, right, we get a message product name is required. So this is how we can add validation to our existing endpoints. So there are a lot of things, like we can add, we can give a regular expression, we can give max length, a lot of things we can give, uh, uh, that can be used as a validation for our input. So this is how we do for this is how we do for attribute validations. Now with that being working, let's go back and try to create a new product with a valid data. Now this is a valid, right? We have a product name, everything is valid here. So if I try to execute, so you can see that there is a issue with the key, the product number. The product number has a duplicate key value. That means we have to somehow restrict this product number to be unique and not available in the database. To do that, we need to query the database and find out how to do this, right? Whether this product is there, we have to give a error message to the user. Now in order to do that effectively, we will use in hibernate or fluent validation, sorry. So to use the fluent validation, we'll come to the persistence project, and then I'll go to the NuGet manager and let's search for Fluent Validation. So this is the package I'll be using it. Just install it. Okay. So once this is installed, I'll come to the add product model that we have. So here, what we will do, we will create a validation class for that kind of a validation. I'm going to call it add product PTO validator, and this has to inherit from abstract validator. And if you see, right, this comes from Fluent Validation. Now what is the kind of class that we want to validate here? It's going to be add product DTO. Now let's see how we can add the product validator. So I'll create a constructor. So in this constructor, we will say rule for, and this takes a lambda expression, and then our properties product number. For this, I need to what is the validation, right? So I'm going to do what is a condition that it takes. It's going to be an argument, and then I'm going to call the number as a product number. Okay. So here we need to query the database, right? So how do I query the database? So in order to query the database, I'm going to bring in our DB context. Context. So my condition is if not context dot any context dot product dot any x dot product number is equal to args dot product number. Basically, I'm going to check the database to see if there is anything matches, and it should not match actually. It should be unique. And if that fails, I'm going to give a message saying exists. Now, so far so good. Now, in order for this to work, we need to also register it. So I'm going to go to the main project, and then I'm going to go to get package. I'm going to install implementation here as well. And then here I'm going to add this ASP.NET Core as well for that dependency injection. Now, here for us to add this, right? So where we have add controllers here, come here and say add Fluent Validation. And then we want to say options, options dot register validator for assemblies. I want to say app domain dot and domain dot data source. That's all I need. Now, with that done and our validation added, okay, see now we are able to get the message that we wrote for the product DTO. Okay. So now with the correct message, yeah. So you can see that we are giving the message here, and if you see, it will also work with the existing fluid attribute validation as well. So for example, if I if I give a big number here, so you can see that we got both errors. So both works together. Now let me remove this, and then let me change the product number. So -1, and then yeah. So it gave an error again. So it says that product name is unique. So how do we fix that? So same like we did before. I'm going to say rule for product name, right? Next argument, product name. I'm going to say not context dot product dot any text dot name equal to r dot product name. Okay. Dot message, let's say product name already exists. With this done, if you run our application, to I'm going to change the number. Uh, yeah, let me just execute this. Let's see if I get both errors. Yeah, I can see it gave me both error. Right? Product name already exists, product number already exists. And then if you also look at how it is getting it, if I go to the output, so you can we can see that it's querying the database to find the product number which we passed, and then with that it's able to validate. Now with that being working, so if I go back to my request and then change it to -1 and number to be -1, okay, so let's say -2, okay, even that exists. So let me try with 3 then, maybe. Okay, so let me do this. I'll put it. Yes, so now you can see that the ID got created, and then it added a new ID 2020, which you can check it. Yes. Yeah. You can see the same product that we tried, it added. However, now if you try it again, it should give an error telling that it already exists. I can see, right? A proper message we are showing. Product name already exists. Product number already exists. So this is how you can yeah, add a custom message and custom validation to the input properties, and not rely on the database failing and giving an error. So I hope you are able to learn the validations with this video. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel and also like the video. Thank you.